The NFL draft is inching closer, and Brock Bowers is going to be a first-round pick. I think the only Georgia football guarantee in terms of this NFL draft is that Bowers will be a first-round pick. Marius Mims not guaranteed to be a first-rounder. Kamari Lassiter not guaranteed to be a first-rounder. A couple other guys maybe not guaranteed to be drafted. But Bowers will go in the first round. And now the Los Angeles Chargers have the best odds. Vegas has got the Chargers as the team with the best odds to take Brock Bowers. So let's break this down. Chargers, they got the 5th pick in this draft. Yeah, he could totally go 5. I think that's the earliest Brock Bowers will go in this draft. I've got a lot of thoughts about this. I talk about this a lot with the colleagues and with buddies. And guys know I love following the NFL draft. I like watching the tape and breaking down prospects as well. Not something I can do on here. But Bowers is a legitimate top 5 candidate. I'm a little hard-pressed to say he will go in the top 10. I would be shocked if he falls past 15, if he falls past teams like the Saints and all that. So what does it mean when the Chargers have the best odds to take Brock Bowers or the betting favorite to get Bowers? Well, they have the best chance to get Brock Bowers. That's part of what the odds are there. So Chargers plus 200 at the 5th pick. Those are their odds with the 5th pick. Colts, they have the 8th, 9th. I'm missing where the Colts pick is. Okay, well, it's not in the top 10. But they have the second best odds to take Brock Bowers. The Jets are in the top 5. That is another team that I think would be interested in taking Brock Bowers. He is the 10th. They have the 10th pick. So where will Brock actually go? What can we get out of this? His stock's going to go up and down a little bit as the next 2 months. It's about 2 months until the draft, almost exactly 2 months until the NFL draft. And some of these teams really need some offensive weapons. Really do. The Chargers are one of them. You know what? I've got a lot of thoughts. Let's just go ahead and get over with the fact that my name is Ryan Curley. This is Dawg Post. Our newsletter is linked down below. Make sure you're checking that out. You get all sorts of stories in your inbox. You get all the Georgia Bulldogs info. You don't have to go searching for it. We're giving it to you if you just give us your email address in the description down below. I promise there's no scam involved with giving us your email address. I don't like giving out my email address. I don't like signing up for stuff. It's worth signing up for the Dawg Post newsletter. I'm telling you that right now. I know I'm biased and I work for Dawg Post, but if I didn't, I'd be signed up for the Dawg Post newsletter, which I am. I click the button to send out the newsletter. I get a notification. It's because I want to be tapped in, guys. You should want to be tapped in too. The Chargers have the 5th pick. Here's the draft order right now. We know at 1, you got the Bears. And the most recent thing about that is, the most recent thing that I've seen is that Justin Fields, they're leaning towards keeping the guy. And they're leaning towards trading that number 1 overall pick. That means trading away your chance to have Caleb Williams. I don't know that that's the smartest thing to do if you're the Chicago Bears. At number 2, the Washington Commanders. Gonna take a quarterback as well. I'd be shocked if they don't. I don't think Sam Howell's their guy. I think that, to me, Caleb Williams and Drake May are too exciting not to pass up on. Patriots at 3, subject to take a quarterback as well. If not, I think we'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. At 4 is when the conversation starts in this draft. Because if the draft ended today and all of the experts and the mock draft people and people like me who do this for a living somehow, if it ended today, a quarterback would go 1, 2, and 3. And Marvin Harrison Jr. would be the 4th pick, and then the draft would really start at pick 5. So we can work under that assumption. Look, Marvin Harrison Jr., if he's not going 4th, he's going in the top 3. That's how people feel about him as a prospect. I feel that way about him as a wide receiver prospect. I think he's definitely on the tier of Jamar Chase as a prospect, as Julio, as A.J. Green, guys like that. He's with them. I'm not necessarily putting him above them, but he's right there with them, and he might be above them, if I'm being honest. Brock Bowers could go 5. Now, if you're the Chargers, I think you can go 3 different directions with this, and it be the right call. And 1, I think, is the tackle for Notre Dame, Joe Alt. Right? You want to protect Justin Herbert, you can do that. But there are 3 legitimate, just absolutely legitimate guys that I think will be day one impact players in the NFL as offensive weapons in this draft outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. That's Bowers, Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver for LSU, and Rome Odunze, the wide receiver from Washington. The Chargers, I think, should be taking one of those guys. They took a wide receiver in the first round last year, Quentin Johnston. Georgia fans, you saw Quentin Johnston in the national championship when he played for TCU and Georgia won, I forget, 65-7? Yeah, that was the score, 65-7. I mixed up the Orange Bowl and the national championship score now because they were both in the 60s. Saw Quentin Johnston. Year one wasn't great for him. Justin Herbert needs weapons, and he needs dynamic weapons. Quentin Johnston, not quite that, and he's a little bit of what they had already. Bowers would be something different, and they definitely don't have a star tight end. I think Malik Neighbors makes a lot of sense for the Chargers. In fact, if I was the Chargers GM, that's probably what I would take. I would probably take Malik Neighbors, which means if that was the case, then Bowers would fall. Well, would the Giants take him? I don't think so. At number 6. I don't think so. I think that you're looking more at wide receiver. They have Darren Waller, one of the better tight ends in the NFL. He's around 30. I believe he's 30 exactly, 29. He's in that range. So maybe they go with a young Bowers who's not even 22. Who's 20? I think he just turned 21 recently. Titans, wide receiver, might be what they're going for. Might be Brock Bowers. Guess what? Bowers wants to go to Titans. I don't really know why exactly. He must have a lot of friends over in Nashville. Maybe he's got a girl out there. I think he probably does have a girl out there, actually. The Falcons, not going to take Brock Bowers, all right? The Falcons, I'm a Falcons fan. So I'll give you my, if this even lasts 30 seconds, I'll give you my 30-second piece about this. Do not draft Brock Bowers, Atlanta. I've never really pushed for Atlanta not to draft a Georgia player. Don't do this. It's not what the Falcons need. It's not what you guys need. As much as I love watch Brock Bowers play, as much as he would benefit Georgia's offense, that's not what the Falcons need. So he's not going to go at 8. I'd be surprised. The Bears at 9, maybe. Would Justin Fields be successful with a 2 tight end set and have a guy like Brock Bowers to throw to? I could see that being a good thing for them. Cole Kmet, Notre Dame 2019. When I'm talking about things, I like to bring it back to Georgia as much as possible. Obviously, this is about Georgia. This is about more than Georgia, but I want to bring it back to the Dogs as much as possible. I always reference guys that played well against Georgia. Cole Kmet is a guy that played really well against Georgia. You remember 2019? I was not working for Dawg Post at the time. In fact, I was a freshman. And I was in the student section, and it was great. And Cole Kmet had a really, really good day for Notre Dame despite losing. The Dogs did win that day, and it was an incredible night in Athens. But you could pair a guy like Kmet and Bowers. You're helping out Justin Fields. I think that the Jets could really use him. And according to these odds, they have the 4th best odds behind the Titans, the Colts, and the Chargers at the moment to be Brock Bowers a suitor at plus 900. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jets next season, and I think that he would love to have a guy like Bowers. Bowers would immediately be the most talented tight end that Rodgers has ever played with, and he's played for a long time, and he's played with a lot of really good football players. He would be one of the most talented weapons that Rodgers ever played with. It's not an exaggeration. I haven't mentioned Brock Bowers' stats, anything about him as a player, because I don't think you have to. People recognize him along with Kyle Pitts a little bit, but if you don't recognize Kyle Pitts for that, which I don't blame you, because I would say it's Bowers, he's the best prospect at this position in a long, long time. Maybe ever. Any team that drafts him is getting someone that really only cares about football. If you talk to him, it's, hey, dude, awesome, dude, football. That's literally all it is. That's not me making fun of Brock Bowers. That's me just, I guess that's an impression. That was a terrible one. But I just watched an 8-minute interview with the guy right before I jumped on this, and all he cares about is playing football. That's all he's ever really cared about. And it's why he went to Georgia in the first place. It was because he just wanted to play football. And there was no football out in California. It was one of the reasons why he came out east, why he came down south. He wanted to play football. I don't think he would fall past the Saints at pick like 14. I just would be surprised. I've seen certain mocks that have Brock going 19. I think 19 is the lowest I've seen him mocked. I get that it's hard with the tight end, but guys, NFL scouts and GMs, all you do is watch ball. All I do is watch ball. Have you really actually seen anyone better than Brock Bowers at the tight end position? In college, I haven't. I have not seen a tight end be able to move like that. I'm gonna give you 3 games to go watch. Right? If you're watching this at the 9-minute mark, 10.5 minute mark, I'm gonna end this really soon. If you're watching this and you made it to the end with me, I'm gonna give you 3 games to go watch for Brock Bowers. South Carolina 2022. Okay? And there are 3 very specific plays in there. I'll go Florida 2022. Not as good as the other 2 games, but that's one that you should go watch. And then Auburn 2023. Go watch those games. Tell me that Brock Bowers isn't worth that pick for the Chargers at number 5. Because I think you'd be lying.